How do you like India?
Very much. We're being looked after extremely well by the government of India as the G20 presidency, and we get the opportunity to see these wonderful locations.
I'm presuming this is the first time you're in Karnataka's Hampi.
It is, yes, the first time.
What were the important issues that were discussed in the G20 today? Can you give us some of the highlights?
Yeah, well, the presidency has a big focus on sustainable development, and of course we discussed that. We also talked about what we need to do for the climate crisis, and inevitably we had to talk about the war in Ukraine and the impact that that's having on the global economy and how we will deal with that at the summit in New Delhi.
So do you think that this will be really sorted out, or will the text be remaining blank until the next summit too?
Well, there is a commitment from all sides to work constructively to prepare a text for the summit. We all recognize the importance of the New Delhi summit as an opportunity for the G20 to come together, but it's clear that we will need to find a solution to how we discuss Russia's war and the impact that it's having on people around the world through the impacts on food security and energy security. So we will work together to try and achieve that.
Also, big impetus given to global debt, if you can walk and talk. Big impetus given to global debt. What are your thoughts on that, considering that several of the countries have gone through an economic crisis, especially after COVID?
Well, the situation with debt is very serious. There are real concerns around debt vulnerabilities. We've seen many countries, particularly lower income countries, suffering as a result, and so we think it's really important that the G20 can make concrete progress on this. We already have a framework in place. What we need now is to see that framework properly implemented with a realistic timetable, and that means as soon as possible, and restructurings provided so that countries that are suffering from debt vulnerability and distress can be given the assistance they need.
Emerging economies given a lot of impetus. What are your thoughts on Africa being proposed to be included into the G20?
Well, the UK has received the proposal from the Indian presidency, and like many members around the table, we support the inclusion of the African Union in the G20, and we'll work together to try and find the best way of achieving that.
Thank you so much for this, and sorry to have been kept you waiting in the rain.